Did you watch it?
Actually, I did. I was going through airports, but it worked out that I was actually able to watch the announcement of former President Donald Trump.
You and former President Mike Pence have both said that your party will have a better choice than Donald Trump. How would you be that better choice?
Well, we're looking at exactly what the future would hold, and I do believe that there should be options for the Republican voters and the American people when it comes to 2024. And so whether Trump was in there or not as a candidate, I've made it clear for months that I'm considering a race for the president in 2024. And so I knew that that was a possibility. Last night he confirmed that he was going to be a candidate, and he's announced now. And I look at that and I listen to his words, and first of all, he's very right in what he said, that Biden's policies are taking America in the wrong direction, from energy to border security to the lack of strength in our military preparedness and other issues. So he was right on that point. He's right that he did a lot of good things while he was president, but whenever you look at the opportunity to win, the darkness of that message and the negativity of it, really indicates to me that if we're going to win in 2024, there should be options on the Republican side.
You had told the Washington Post before the election that you expected your party to have a good election. That red wave nationally didn't happen. It did happen in our state. Was Trump part of the reason? Was it his candidates, if you will, that cost that wave, his presence?
Well, candidates always make a difference. And by the way, congratulations in Iowa, Governor Reynolds and her reelection by a huge margin, but also Brenna Bird, as well as your treasurer candidate, Robbie Smith. Incredible results there. Zach Nunn winning. Iowa really had a good election from a Republican
You paid
standpoint.
attention to the candidates.
Well, they're good candidates, and that's the reason that they won. They're good candidates, had a unified party, and they focused on the future and problem solving. And you look at the races that we lost across the country, it's generally somebody that was arguing about the last election and the past and airing grievances, and the American public said, no, let's go a different direction. Let's talk about the future. There's important issues. And so this election, I think it's really important to look at the midterm elections and recognize that it was not Republican ideas that were rejected. It was simply particular candidates and what they were expressing, and the candidates that could not win independents in November lost. And that's the message to me. We have to nominate candidates through the primary process, through the caucus process, of being able to attract independents and can win in November. And that's the lesson from the midterm election.
When you look at those polls, there is a chunk, whether they're Trump supporters primarily, but who now 2 years later still denying the election results. Can you win those folks over?
Can I win them over? And the answer is yes. I believe that is the case. And some you will not, because they're fixated on the past and they're not going to recognize any other argument or facts. But by and large, people had information, they made decisions on it, but you've got to look to the future. And I think they want candidates that are saying America is a great land, our democracy is strong, and that is another lesson of the midterm election, is that while all the pundits, and myself included, believed that there was going to be a red wave, there wasn't, because the people spoke, they participated in, and so it really reflected the strength of our democracy in the last election, even though it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to do. And so we have a great nation, and we want candidates to reflect that, our leaders to reflect that. Sure, we've got problems reflected by this administration, but that's what elections are about and ideas are about. I held an ideas conference this year, And it was about, let's focus on what are the problems we need to solve in the future. Let's bring the great thinkers together, the thought leaders, and talk through these things and listen to each other from a conservative standpoint. And to me, that's exciting, and that's what America wants.